Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I'll show you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we're relaxing as per usual. Only a little bit of time because I'll be off in just a moment. Sooner or later, and I was like, I've got time. I will record my Animal Crossing now, of all things. Lots to do, a lot of things to I feel like to do. Have a moment. I got that thing which I need to sort out. And I got another thing which I need to sort out. Lots of juggling. But that's okay. Hello everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:24 PM on Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Yeah, what are we going to talk about? That's a good question. I'm not really sure. Mind you of exactly the direction this is going. I don't know why I'm saying it so weirdly. This is going to take. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of like where to even start conversationing. What am I going to talk about? I don't know. I will say it's going to be a massive day for Gacha. I think tomorrow, right? Like, what the heck is a campfire? Someone just left it. Irresponsible. Wait, can we actually turn it off? Hold on. Nope. Oh well. But it's going to be a massive day for Gacha. You know, Genjin, new banner, Star Rail, not new banner. Now I think about it, but Star Wars is going to have a thing at the end of a week. ZZZ, I think, new patch, maybe? Is that tomorrow? Let's see. I think it might be. It's pretty close. February 6th. February 6th? What a weird day. It's releasing on Friday. Why is it releasing on Friday? I don't know. Okay, well, that's coming soon. Wooba, I think. New banner, maybe? I don't remember. Sorry, this is yawning now. Yeah. I mean, by the time I finish recording this, I'll be done. But I should be doing a pub quiz at the moment. Oh, we'll be done by the time that this gets uploaded or something. That's why. Hello, Amelia. Are you okay? What's up? You here to talk to me? Why are you standing directly in front of me? That's true, we haven't really chatted in a while. Apologies. I don't know, well, sorry, my mind is like, where even conversationally am I going at the moment? And the answer is nowhere. I'm sort of meandering a little bit. I don't know, let's see what's going on Arshas Games. This is where we get my gaming news. To see if anything's going on. I will say my back still feels like it's like, ugh. Ooh, Arknight Enfield's developers reveal cause of unauthorized PayPal payment problem. Oh, okay, nothing. Explained. I don't know if you know about this. Enfield is one of the new Gacha games which was released by the same people who did Arknights, which is basically like a tower defense game. Enfield's like a factory manager. I've spoken about it before. I'm actually having quite a fun time doing the factory management portion of it. But yes, it's not like I'm not sure how to feel about it entirely because I'm having a good time in it, but it also depends how it goes. Because I think it's a bit weird because it's a game where I'm like, I actually like the gameplay more than I like the characters at the moment. Which is a bit unusual thing for gacha games, which are often very character focused. There's a couple of characters I do like. I do like the two Italian siblings. I forgot their names. Rosso and I forgot the other guy's name. But a lot of the other characters haven't really met. Like Yvonne's like kind of nice, I guess. She was not at all what I expected from personality. But anyway, on their release, apparently they had a massive like PayPal glitch where some people bought like in-game currency with money via PayPal, and then they ended up getting charged for other people's transactions as well or something, which is absolutely insane. Very, very scary sort of thing. So, and someone was billed $5,000 was the largest amount. But I want to know what happened. I think that's always the most fascinating thing when people break down exactly like why certain bugs happen. Like I said this before, like Tom Scott, when he used to do computer file videos, other people do them as well. When he explained the heartbleed problem, is the one that always sticks in my mind. It's like a very fascinating thing. as one which broken down, because it's one which I think is explained so succinctly. You know, like maybe I can explain it to you now. Basically, there's something called like a heartbeat, where you basically ask like a server, being like, "Hey server, you awake? If you're awake, then can you send me 5 letters and give me the word apple?" And then the server will take that command and it will be like APPLE, and it will give you the 5 letters of apple. And it will do it for like whatever. That's like a heartbeat, just to make sure that the server's there. But it turns out what you could do is basically you could be like, "Hey server, are you awake? If you're there, could you send me the word apple? It's 6,000 characters long." And then it will be like APPLE, then it runs out of characters, and it's like, well, this user needs 6,000 characters. I would just take 5,994 characters from whatever I'm also thinking about. So it just continued to read, basically, past of what's going on. It was like an overflow issue or something. Which could be a problem if someone was logging in at the exact time as well, and they were also thinking about validating that person's password. I'm like, what a okay, obviously it's a good thing that the bug is fixed, and it's a good thing that someone identified it before anything malicious happened. But what a fascinating, like, sort of consequence. Like, it's what makes programming, I think, so fascinating, is the consequence of things like different logistics all sort of coming together. Trying to evaluate them and see what's going on. See, finally, like, what lies beneath on the surface. And then also seeing, like, all these different weird interactions coming together, being like, oh, that's strange. How does this work? Anyway, I will say that Enfield definitely had a very, very rocky start. Like, he also had a lot of server issues, I think, when I started. Like, when I first played, it was like at 2 AM, so there wasn't any server issues. I tried to play the next day at like 6 or 7 PM or something, and it was like 900 ping. It was very slow. But it wasn't the worst, so it actually got like better. But yeah, that's a crazy financial issue to have at the start of the game. Like, absolutely insane. Pretty killer for a gacha game, where microtransactions are sort of just like something highly, highly incentivized to do. My recommendation to you is to not play a gacha game unless you're 100% okay with it. You have to be very strict yourself either to not spend, or you have to have enough money to be able to spend. Essentially. So I'm not going to be here as a proponent for gambling. Well, I mean, a lot of the games are pretty fun at the end of the day. So I'll leave it up to you. I mean, you can decide for yourself, hopefully, unless you can't, in which case then I don't think you should be coming to me for advice. But yeah, it's actually like one of the craziest launches. Not the craziest launch. Like, I will say, I always go back to it. The craziest launch of any game I've ever heard of is School Idol Festival 2, the global server version. Because it was a game, but by the time, like, it shut down, I think, in the Japanese server before the global server even got released. And then it was absolutely crazy. They announced the closure of the game before, like, it even launched. They were like, hey, everyone's going to start at like 31st of March, and then we're going to close at the end of May or something. It's absolutely insane. How did this happen? I don't know. I mean, could be a long list of reasons. The Love Live franchise definitely fell behind, I suppose, in the gacha sphere, I suppose, of what it actually gave. But absolutely, absolutely insane. Sort of launch. I think WildStar also had a pretty crazy launch, right? Like with most MMORPGs that launch with like crazy server like runtime issues or something, overload essentially, and then they made a load of servers, and then most of the people stopped playing because people sometimes only play for a little bit, right? It's all about the retention rate, but you know, I can't imagine most games have like over, I don't know what, probably not over like a 50% retention rate from their opening weekend. Retention being defined as continued playing after a month or something. Probably even less if you go for a full year, I don't know. I also don't know if that's true. I just made that statistic up on the spot, so it could just be genuinely completely false. So don't take it as my or as any gospel. But a lot of MMORPGs do that sort of thing, right? Where they're like, oh, we got too many servers, we get more servers. Okay, now there's no one on the servers anymore. Makes it worse at MMORPGs because you can't switch servers. That's like that or something. And now all the servers are sort of like a quarter of the population. I don't know what the worst game. Let's see. Reddit. Worst game launch. What's the worst launch you've ever been to? You've ever seen to a highly anticipated game? Final Fantasy XIV? Oh, that's a really, really good one. I don't know if you know the story behind that one. Even I don't know all that well. But Final Fantasy XIV, not as we know it today, but Final Fantasy XIV as we know it today is a completely new game, essentially. It's basically Final Fantasy 15. They like rebirthed it into beauty, but it was like, it released and it was so bad that like the developers apologized, shut it down, and remade it entirely to what it is now, which is actually pretty good or something. So I don't really know why it was so bad necessarily. I just know it was very bad. Oh, Anthem, that's a good one as well, right? If it's the one I'm thinking of. Oh, Anthem isn't even what I'm thinking of. Kind of looks like everyone's Bionicles in this though. I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily. What happened to Anthem? The game had great bones but zero meat on them. I've never seen a game that had such good fun, good mechanics, and absolutely nothing to do gameplay wise. That's a crazy thing to hear about, because it's such a weird thing to have, like to have such an amazing core gameplay loop and then have nothing you can do with it. So I was gonna say, I'm looking at Anthem. It looks like a Destiny style sort of game. I can see myself getting down with it. It's got sort of like a Neo. It's not quite a Neo feature. Like, what do you call this type of sort of tech thing? I don't know. The aesthetics I think are still pretty cool. I have often said Destiny seems like a really fun game to get into, but also takes way too much time. I'm not going to do that. No, I was thinking about that hero shooter, which, oh, what was it called? That got released with the very interesting designs, shall we say? What is it called? I can't remember which company made it, to be honest. Hero shooter immediately shut down. Concord, that's it, not Anthem. That one was crazy. Like, online for like a total of like 3 days or something before shutting down. Museum of Failure. There's a whole site called a Museum of Failure. Brutal. This is a Sony game. Absolutely insane that stuff like this just kind of happens. I think the stuff that makes it so insane is when it's got so much budget behind it, you know? Where you look at it and be like, Concord, very polished, like, everything. Like, there's clearly a big team behind it, and then it happened like that. It's kind of sad, if anything, or what potential it could be. Can you even play Anthem anymore? I don't know. What is Anthem still online? Shutting down Jan 12, 2026. Anthem the game. Stop Killing Games movement. This sounds like a reaction to the Stop Killing Games movement. Really? How long? Wait, when did Anthem even get released? Anthem game release 2019. Oh, so it actually survived then. It survived for 7 years or something. Oh no, okay, so it was another one where its initial release was terrible and then it reworked it or something? I don't know. Or did it just do nothing? It just putted out? I don't know, it's kind of wild. Highest amount of potential but never capitalize on it. Patch bugged the lottery. Salvage game. Destiny Killer. Of all the Destiny Killer. It's actually kind of sad just to read it because everyone's basically being like, oh, it could have been so good. It's probably the same way I feel, how I feel so upset when I see a story which had so much potential but then they just fumble the ball. Cough, cough, Kung Fu Panda 4. Something with so much potential and it just can't do it. It can't close it out, you know. I guess Anthem's probably the same deal. Just almost as completely failed launches, I suppose. I'm trying to think what to even put for tagline for this. A shame. That's what I put. A shame. Forgot about that one. Final Fantasy 14, but it's a crazy one. Because it's so weird to think about because it's such a beloved game now. No Man's Sky is also a really good one. That's also a really good one. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14, but No Man's Sky, both ones which absolutely recovered. Anthem, it sounds like it could have recovered though. I don't know why it didn't. Battlefield 2042? I do remember it being pretty bad in release. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, I do remember that as well, actually. Cyberpunk, that's true. Cyberpunk is also one which improved though. Assassin's Creed Unity, I don't remember. Avengers? I don't even remember that game. Daikatana? I don't even know what this is. Daikatana? What the heck is that? I don't know. Anarchy Online. Reddit, worst game launch. 5 months, let's see. 5 months ago. Apparently it was a really downvoted subreddit, thread. Diablo 3? Oh yeah, Diablo 3 was also a crazy one. I remember it's such a crazy one as well because I was in secondary school when it came out and my maths teacher loved the Diablo series. And then I was speaking to him like after maths class or something, I don't know, probably while we were doing maths stuff or while we were packing up. And we were just like, what you got planned? You got any plans for tonight or whatever? And he was like, you might just play some Diablo 3. And I was just like, I said to my friend, oh yeah, I've heard that it's not got really good reviews or something. And he was like, don't say that. I love Diablo. And I was like, ooh, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Enfield failed. I think it's actually still doing pretty well, to be honest. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes for me personally. Because maybe Enfield is my anthem where I'm like, I like the gameplay loop of this like factory management system, but I'm just like, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on it yet. But I'm like, it really depends what it does with its story. Because you basically are like, you are the space capitalist in this one. If it doesn't lean into the fact that we are the antagonists in one way, protagonists in one way, I suppose, of like trying to save the world, but also save the world from something that we did, then I don't know. That's a big question mark. Yeah, there's so many. It's actually, what I'm even more impressed by is how many examples there are of ones which have recovered now. Final Fantasy 14, yeah. Diablo 3, I think, recovered. No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, all games which recovered from their terrible launch. So much so that, yeah, it turns out you actually can forget about it. Like, I don't think anyone really thinks about Final Fantasy 14's terrible launch now. I don't think people out there like No Man's Sky's terrible game, but certainly when it was released it did. Seems like there is worth salvaging these sort of games, salvaging the bad launch. So there's hope for you, Enfield. It's not even that bad launch. Well, okay, it was more like one incredibly scary bad thing, which, you know, may threaten their entire monetization model, but who's counting? Anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode up here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, what the heck? Bye-bye for now.